Hi everyone, Tristan here from flytyingyarn.com and the YouTube channel Tenkara Addict, and I'm bringing you another fly tying video today. In this one I'm going to be showing you how I tie the infamous pink worm. This is a fly I used a couple months ago to catch some spawning kokanee salmon here in Idaho. I will put a link to that video in the video description, in the description for this video, if you want to go see me actually catch fish with this fly. The infamous pink worm is basically a variation on the San Juan worm, and then I tie kind of my own variation of the infamous pink worm. So this is a variation of a variation, and I'm going to tie a few different versions for you guys in this video. The first one will be weightless, and then a couple different weighted variations of this fly. Alright, this is approximately what we're going to be tying here. Usually this fly is tied with orange right here, orange dubbing. I'm using red yarn. You could also, of course, use orange yarn, but I like the red, and so I tie and fish it with red yarn here. For the first version of the fly, the unweighted version, I'm using a heavier hook. This is a wide gape nymph hook from Firehole Outdoors. This is the Firehole 637 hook. I'm laying down a bed of thread here. Just a reminder, I am not a professional fly tyer. I'm a pretty mediocre fly tyer, but my flies do catch fish. You don't have to be a master of the vice here to catch fish. I'm going to tie in a piece of chenille. This is a 2-inch piece of pink chenille. I'm going to roughly center it here. Secure it with several wraps, and then I'm going to tie in some red yarn here for the body. This is Jamison's Shetland Spindrift yarn in Scarlet. Scarlet is the name of this color. So I'm going to pull back the chenille, tie in the yarn, and again, normally there's dubbing used here, but I'm using yarn. Usually it's orange dubbing. I'm using red yarn. I will wrap this yarn around now to form that fat body section. Winding it back and forth, making it fatter in the middle, doing extra wraps or tighter wraps around the middle here. I think this was about a 5-inch piece of yarn when I started out, and I am done. I'm out of yarn, so I'm going to secure that little end. And cut it off. Pull the chenille down and over and secure it. And then take the whip finisher . One, two, three, four, five. Make sure the chenille doesn't get trapped in there. And there you go. An unweighted, infamous pink worm. You can see here I have a little bit more thread showing right here than I do right here. Obviously that's not going to affect the efficacy of this fly, but might be nicer to make it a little bit more symmetrical next time. Either make this end a little bit wider or this little bit of thread a little bit skinnier. But anyway, that is the fly. That is the unweighted version of this fly. Let's start off this next little section with making a weighted version, the first of two weighted versions I want to show you guys. Okay, for this variation I'm using a different hook. This is a size 10 hook. The last one was a size 12. I don't know if I said that, but it was a size 12. This is a size 10. And this hook is the, let's see here, this is the Moonlit ML062 hook. I'm going to start off the same way. And by the way, if you want to see me fish with this fly, if you want to see me catch fish with this fly, I'm posting a video of me fishing with it and catching fish with it on my other channel on Tenkara Addict, concurrently with the release of this video. Got some fraying of the thread there, I think. All right, looks decent enough. Let's bring it back down this way toward the bend. Same thing, gonna tie in about a 2-inch piece of pink chenille with a little bit more of it showing on this end than on this end. You want it a little bit longer over this way. I'm tightening this down, securing this down. Next up, let's add some weight. In this first variation, this first version, I'm adding some copper wire. This is medium copper ultra wire. Try to avoid hitting the point of the hook with your thread, which is something I always do. All right, and then bring the thread back to where we started over here on the left side. And then I'm going to make several wraps with this copper wire here. Sorry for the weird sound it's making. Then I'm going to go back to another layer. And then cut this off. Mash down that end of the copper. Try to wrap over it. There we go. I'm not going to completely cover the copper here. Doesn't really matter. But if you want to do that for aesthetic purposes, be my guest. Now I'm going to add some more yarn here. Again, this is the same yarn we used in the unweighted version. Jameson's Shetland Spindrift in the color Scarlet, which you can buy at flytyingyarn.com, of course. Shameless plug there, shameless self-promotion. And then I'm winding the yarn carefully here, trying to cover up all the copper. I guess if you really want to make sure that no copper shows through, then yeah, keep wrapping the thread around it before you do the yarn. Okay. Capturing the yarn here. Once again, bring the chenille down and over. grab onto it. Okay, that looks good. Good enough. Finish it off. Two, three, 4, 5. Good enough. I'm happy with that. That'll catch fish. And that is done. I guess we can add some head cement to that thread there. The chenille will soak it up too. All right. Perfect. All right, let's move on to the third and final version, and that is the second weighted version of this fly, and it's a little bit different. Same hook as the last one. This is the Moonlit ML062, size 10. Got 3 copper beads on there. These are 1/8 inch beads. You could also use lighter beads. You could use smaller ones like 7/64 inch ones. I'm gonna start off here going down to about, I'll go down to about there. I'm going to tie in, yet again, a 2-inch piece of chenille. Now I'm going to be tying this variation in a kind of an unorthodox way. This part is pretty normal. Except that I'm going to finish it off and tie it off right here. So take the whip finisher. This usually isn't done. You don't see too many fly tires. Oh man. Let's see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't see many fly tires doing this, which is finishing off the fly right in the middle here, and then cutting the yarn, cutting the thread, and then starting again. But that's what I'm going to be doing here. So start off from the eye end now. This version of the fly does not use any yarn, just these red bead heads, these red beads. Make a bunch of wraps over here on the other side, on the right side of the beads, to secure them all. This might not be the most elegant way to tie a fly, but I'm not the most elegant fly tier, so I'm okay with that. And then bring it down. And then we can finish this guy off with another set of whip finishes. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. You've got this kind of ugly bend in the chenille over on this end. I can cut that off, I guess. Looks a little bit better. All right, again, like I said earlier, if you want to see these flies in action, both of these weighted versions, actually, I will put a link to that video in the video description below. If you do want to pick yourself up some of that red yarn, that lovely red yarn, head on over to flytyingyarn.com. I'll put a link to that also. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.